I'm Captain Stephen Fields. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the Navionics webinar series. Going to be doing this one on the boating app, Fish Smarter and Safer. This is presented by Seatow. Want to thank all you guys for attending again. I know I enjoy doing these and sharing some knowledge with you guys. We'll go ahead and get started here. About me, again, Captain Stephen Fields. I am a full-time professional saltwater guide, and I also participate and compete on the Redfish tours throughout the Southeast as well. I am based out of Charleston, South Carolina. You're more than welcome to visit my guide site, charlestonfishingcompany.com, as well as my professional angler site, fieldsfishing.com. Be sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Keep up with everything that I'm doing. A lot of good information, not only that I'm putting out there, but I'm sharing a lot of other great information from a lot of other great anglers out there as well. With this webinar, again, thank you for attending. The presentation will last approximately 30 to 40 minutes with the Q&A at the end, which will last for about 20 minutes. Everything I'm going to go over is kind of listed right here in an overview. We're going to go over how I plan to fish smarter and safer using the Navionics boating app, just in my opinion. I have 3 stages that I go through. This is just me in general, and the Navionics app only helps with this. Definitely makes my practice or pre-fishing a lot easier before you get out on the water, and adapting and making changes. The Navionics boating app itself, going over navigation, dock-to-dock auto routing, weather and tides, navigational, sonar charts, advanced map options, plotter sync and updates, and timeline. And then we'll get into the Q&A. I'm sure you guys will have some good questions for me, and I look forward to answering them. All right, stage 1, before you get out on the water. That's study time for me. That's I'm back in school, you know. And this photo here, it wasn't staged at all. This is actually a shot that my good buddy took of me while I was sitting there and studying. Some people make fun of me for it, but it works. I mean, so definitely take advantage of your time off the water. Instead of sitting around, or it's certain parts of the country it's too cold or it's iced over. Take that time to study. You know what's coming up when the spring comes, or you know what's coming up when summer's coming around the corner. So take that time and study up. Use what you already know to target new or familiar waters. So, I mean, especially if it's a familiar lake or something like that, or river or inlet, bay, you know what's going to happen, and you can already go ahead and start planning out for that. You know where they're going to stage before the spawn. When it comes to the largemouth guys, you got your primary, then your secondary, and then the backs. So you can already set up for that. Look for those areas that are going to be key in that process. For the redfish guys, saltwater guys, whether it's sea trout coming in to spawn here in the Charleston area in the spring, we get the big spawners coming in. You can already set up and plan out for that. Or, as it warms up, the bigger bull redfish are going to be coming into our harbors and inlets. You can go ahead and start planning for where they're going to be staging and setting up at. Oh, yeah. We're moving along there. One more. All right. Stage 2 is kind of my on-the-water process. Use the app on your phone, tablet, iPad as another tool. I use it not only as a backup unit, but also I can use it on the front of my boat. I can use it while I'm on the back of my boat. And it also, keep a fishing partner, friend, family member involved. It gives your buddy something to look at, he's not going to be interfering with the chart you're looking at possibly on your unit. So he can be looking at something totally different, scrolling, zooming in and out, changing settings while you're also looking on another unit. It really works out. As a charter guide professionally, it's a great tool for me. I allow a lot of my clients, especially younger clients, to kind of tune in and look around and see what we're fishing. It's a great learning process, keeps them involved. And on the water, it's, again, if you're on the front of the boat and you're occupied up there and you don't feel like going to the back, you got your app up there as your front unit. Go ahead and zoom in, find that next mark or waypoint you're wanting to go to. Just a great on the water tool. You can't have too many tools on the water. You definitely want to use all of them at your disposal. Stage 3, adapting and making changes. This is pretty much my on the water thing. And I also use the Navionics boating app for this, whether it be on my iPhone or my iPad or tablet. Using the app as an additional tool to study for different strategies and to reposition. I have tons of waypoints, tracks, routes, marks, whatever. My screen at times gets cluttered, looks like a spaghetti. But I have a lot of backup strategies on my app as well. I try to keep plenty of those in my pocket so I can switch over and kind of look at the next spot if I'm thinking about going somewhere else and repositioning. As you can see here on the screen, in the white is a deep hole. This is a big fish spot here. So a lot of times we'll set up on the outskirts of it, drop into the hole. But if that's not working, I definitely want to pull up my app, and it's going to have my position where I'm at and everything on there. And I'm going to look for that steeper drop. And as you can see all those tight lines over there to the right, I've got it zoomed out a good bit so you can really see how steep of a drop it is. I mean, it literally drops from 20 foot to 70 foot in a matter of yards. So a lot of times I'm going to want to set up on that and set it down right where it drops off. Or I'm going to look on my map, hey, I need to move over here and set on the more gradual slope. So that's kind of the different backup areas I marked during my study time. And just how I use the app on the water, adapting and making changes. It's just a different tool. Those are my 3 stages of what I do. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Hopefully it helps. The Navionics boating app itself. It's definitely the most popular marine and lakes app out there. The same detailed charts you're going to get on your GPS plotters. It is Navionics Plus. And it's going to have some advanced features. I mean, some stuff that you're going to want to have the app for that you're not going to get on your plotter possibly. So it's a must-have for boaters and fishermen out there. I know it is for me, especially with all the advanced features. It's really key, and we'll get into those here in a second. Boat safer. The navigational charts on the app itself definitely it's definitely key for me boating safer. Being a saltwater guy, fishing from Texas to South Carolina, there is no more important phrase than boating safer to me and probably my wife and my daughter. It'll get you to and from the fishing ground safely. It's just a great tool for that. I'm running through a lot of skinny water with plenty of hazards that are marked. That's where community edits come in, and map updates. I can't stress those enough. Avoid hazardous areas. You can locate points of interest, marinas, ports, fuel, bars, shopping, whatever, it's got it. Locate markers and waypoints and create saved tracks and routes. The tracks, I always have my tracks running. I don't really run them continuously, but as you can see at the bottom of the screen on your app, you can press start and that's going to start your new track. But I will stop and save those at whenever I deem necessary, pretty much from spot to spot is how I do that. The navigation module itself, it's advanced route planning with estimated time of arrival, distance to arrival, heading to waypoint, fuel consumption, and more. This is going to be your manual route. So you're just going to tap route on the left hand, the middle, bottom, and then tap on manual route. It's a great tool to plan out some routes that you're going to possibly be running, whether it's for pleasure. Let's say, hey, I'm leaving Miami and I'm going to head up to Jacksonville, Florida, or something. You know, that's key for planning that. Or whether you're fishing a bass tournament or inshore red fishing tournament or an offshore tournament. You know, I love planning these out because it's going to give me key features and information that are very important to me, like estimated time of arrival. You don't want to be late. If you're late, your weight doesn't count. Distance to arrival, heading to my waypoint, fuel consumption, that's an important one, especially if you're making long runs and you might have to refuel. It's going to let you know the estimated fuel consumption there and more. And, you know, don't forget, you know, you can set up your boat settings under menu as well. And you're going to put in a lot of information that's going to go into that, like your draft, you know, how much fuel can your boat hold, your average cruising speed. If you're going to be rolling 60, put 60. All that goes into it. Navigation, create markers and waypoints. It's fairly simple. When I'm on my app scrolling in or out, and I see something that I might want to check off. You can see the crosshair on the left picture there. You know, there's a little bit of a nice drop. Now this is on a navigational map. So I just tap the screen right there, and then I'm going to click on tap on the question mark to the right of the crosshair. And up there you got some selections. As you can see in the right picture, you just click on marker. You can go ahead and mark that. You'll save your marks. Great tool. Mark it up just like on your plotter. You know, it's just another way to go ahead and, you know, start planning and pre-fishing and placing all your marks down to where you're going to be going. It'll save those all right on the unit. Dock-to-dock auto routing. This is a great new feature. It's incredibly easy. It does pretty much all the work for you. It's going to, you know, gives you those detailed routes, even through narrow channels and passages, which is important to me, especially in saltwater. Pretty much just choose your destination you're going by selecting a point of interest. You can enter a lat long, or you can just tap on the map and create the route as it goes, and it'll give you the best route in between marks. Again, it's gonna let you see your estimated fuel consumption, your estimated distance, your estimated time of arrival. It's going to highlight precautions along the way. It's going to let you know if there's shallow water where your route is, where you have it planned at, or where you possibly placed a mark at. It's going to give you points of interest, again, like the harbor master, marinas, moorings, fuel stations, restaurants, bars, launch services, etc. It's going to give you VHF radio stations for those, phone numbers. I mean, it is all packed right into this app, and I can't stress enough the routing features, such as the dock-to-dock auto routing on this app. I really use this heavily, planning out, especially for my personal redfish tournaments, on those long runs I might make in Louisiana or something like that. The fuel consumption, distance, estimated time of arrival, making sure I'm running in the safest routes to get to and from. You know, I can't put a price tag on it. It's awesome. It's really changed my life as a fisherman. Weather and tides. This is another big one, especially for me, the tidal part. I don't really have to have a separate app or anything like that now for tides. It's kind of all on this one app for me. So it's really simplified my days. You can get detailed weather forecast and weather buoy data. See hourly and daily forecasts, wind conditions, tides, currents, temperature, air pressure. You know, you got visibility, your precipitation, your sun and moon cycles. It's got everything. In addition, it's also got NOAA weather buoy data that can include wind speed, gust and direction, air pressure, water temperature, wave height, and other info for us saltwater guys. You know, pretty much just select your location on the map you're going to be at, you know, click on weather, it's going to get it for you. That's also on the crosshair. You just press on the map wherever you want to, and a crosshair will pop up. On the left side of that crosshair is going to be a weather symbol. Click on it, it'll give you all your information. Really great app. A lot of information packed in there. And again, it's great to have all this in one app. I mean, we don't have to have 3 or 4 separate apps now. It's in one app, and saves me a lot of time switching between apps and stuff like that, especially on the boat. You know as well as I do, switching between those apps, you're liable to drop the phone. So having it all in one app simplifies it. I need simple. Navigational charts and sonar charts, they're pretty much 2 separate types of charts on this app. You got your basic navigational charts, which is the left picture, top left picture. Those are going to be your basic contours, just navigational contours, which is highly recommended. Use those for navigation. A lot cleaner, clearer picture. Those are the charts you can set up all your routing on. Just great navigational charts. But for us fishermen, then you got the sonar charts. That's on the right, and you can see the difference. The picture is a little bit blurry. I apologize. But those are your fishing charts on the right, the sonar charts. Those are your 1-foot contours. We like to call those fish highways. One thing I like to tell a lot of people is pretty much go on the charts, find your favorite fishing spot that produces consistently, and these sonar charts are going to come alive and pretty much show you why the fish hang there and feed there. Really great tool. It's changed fishing having those 1-foot contours. I don't know what my dad did without these things. Better fisherman than me, I guess. But it's definitely helped us guys out here. And the 1-foot contours, those are going to be your tighter lines on the charts. The reason they're so tight is it's showing changes every 1 foot. So the tighter the lines, that's the steeper the drop or the steeper the rise that you're going to have. And, fish love contours. That's, they're not going to usually be in a barren wasteland. They're going to be around structure and contours. Pretty much you can select between the 2 charts easily. At the bottom left hand of your screen, you'll see a round Navionics logo. Click on that, and then you'll just select sonar charts. And if you look at once you do that, when you look at the bottom left of your screen, that round logo is now going to be a sonar logo. And you can switch back and forth between the 2, which I do. When I'm practicing looking for fishing spots, I'm always on my sonar charts. When I'm running, I'm definitely on the navigational charts. And if I'm stopping, I'm just going to switch over to the sonar charts for, pretty much my fishing charts. And again, these are the same charts that are on your Navionics Plus cards in your units. It's awesome. And this app, again, it has features that your unit doesn't have, which I'm going to get into some more in a little bit as well. But on your to download these sonar charts onto your app, you get all the navigational charts basically, and you're going to have to select what areas you want for the sonar charts and download them, and that'll go onto your app. To do that, just select menu, and then you'll see the download map selection. Hit that, and then you can select a body of water you want to download. It's easy. You can scroll all over the U.S. And drag that box in and out. I definitely recommend, getting that box as tight to the body of water that you want, and just do it in chapters. Say, do one lake and then do the next lake, even if they're close together. That'll save a lot of space on your app, and you'll be able to get some more areas in there. All right, advanced map options. This is my favorite. This is some good stuff right here. That's on the app that I use heavily on the boat. Water level, that's a great one, especially for the lake guys. I know in the wintertime in the southeast here, a lot of lakes are lowered, and so you can really set what your lake is. Let's say Lake Hartwell in South Carolina is 3 or 4 foot down, which is probably more than that. You can set the water level for -4, -5, whatever it be, and that's going to show up. You also got your fishing mode. That's going to allow you to select your fishing range. Especially in the summertime when I'm doing a lot more deeper water fishing for saltwater species anyways. I use this a lot because I can kind of narrow down on my maps the water that I'm targeting. Let's say I'm wanting, 20 to 40 foot depth range. I can set my fishing range for, I have it on 28 to 48 on that bottom left picture there. So let's say 28 to 48, I'm going to set it to that, and that's going to highlight all that water in that depth range that I want to fish, and that way I can, easily see where I need to be on the map. Shallow area, that's another great one. That's going to put all the dots up, the little red dots in a grid pattern on your screen. You can set what your shallow water will be. Let's say you want to set it for 4 foot. So it's going to show up in anything that's 4 foot or less. That's going to let you know where you don't need to be. And then there's Easy View. I just really started using this, and this is on your plotter as well. This past year I've been using this a lot. It really, when I'm running, it makes it a lot easier and clearer to see these numbers, and it highlights, whether it be specifications, names of certain places, or hazards. As you can see in the bottom left picture, I do have it on there as well. It really brings the depth numbers and all the names and descriptions out front. Makes it easy to see, especially if you're running high speeds or you're just can't see too well. It brings it out to the front so you can see it a lot better. That's definitely giving me more confidence in boating safer, having that Easy View on when I'm running. Plotter sync and updates, another neat little thing you can do here. It's compatible with Wi-Fi plotter owners that you can transfer routes and markers, upload sonar logs for enhanced sonar chart through the Navionics boating app. And pretty much being able to connect this to your plotter and pretty much syncing it, and anything you've saved on your plotter, you're going to be able to get on your app. That's key. That saves you a lot of time of trying to get it right and, trying to add stuff to your app that you have on your plotter. You can also update your eligible plotter card as well. The card that's actually in your GPS plotter unit, you can update it through your app. As long as you're connected to Wi-Fi on your boating app, on whether it be your phone or your tablet or iPad, and you're synced to your plotter, you can update that plotter's card. Really neat. That you ain't got to take the card out of the unit. I can do it in my driveway. This is pretty much how I update my cards now, is with this. And how I get my sonar logs off my card, off my plotter, and that goes into update. Just plotter sync that just shows you how far technology has come. And you can also check for updates on your mobile device as well under menu, and just select update all. That's going to update everything. You definitely want to have the latest information and that you can possibly have out there. It's the difference between catching fish and not catching fish. It might be the difference between hitting a new sunk boat and not hitting a sunk boat, or saltwater sandbars change every year. Things change. Navionics puts out 1,000 updates a day. Now, don't get me wrong, all those updates every day are not going to be for you, but there's probably going to be 1 or 2 that are, and that's how it goes for everybody. So it's key for me to have my stuff up to date. I have a nice plotter on my boat. I really do, and it's I got I run the Platinum Plus Navionics cards, or the Navionics Plus cards, and the Navionics Plus Regions cards. I got my nice iPhone and my nice expensive iPad. And why have all that nice equipment and not update it and take care of it? So it's good to have the best available charts you can possibly have on your equipment. There's a lot of community edits out there, a lot of important information that go into these updates, and you definitely want to take advantage of it, because I guarantee you your competitor is, if you're in a fishing tournament or something. Sonar Chart Live, awesome feature. I'm running Ray Marine right now, so I do have the ability. I get to see my updates live on my actual chart plotter. Really neat. This allows you to create new personal 0.5 meter HD bathymetry maps, pretty much the 1-foot contours that display in real time while navigating. You're pretty much remapping the bottom of underwater. You're remapping it yourself and creating new data for not only you but for other users. That this will go into updates. It's not going to give away any secret fishing spots or anything like that. It just goes into an update, and everybody benefits from it. That's one thing that sets Navionics apart, is they're constantly changing. And I love that. I love having the latest information I can possibly have on my app and in my plotter. And I'm constantly running my sonar chart live and uploading new logs all the time. It's real easy to do. The feature can be enabled by connecting wirelessly to a sonar from your mobile as well that has a Navionics boat app installed. Alternatively, it can be displayed directly on the screen of compatible plotters. Like I said, available now on Raymarine multifunction displays, and it's coming on Lowrance, Simrad, and B&G in early 2017. I'm sure we'll get into that later. But for now, on the plotter, it's just Raymarine. But you can also, it can be enabled by connecting wirelessly to a sonar from your mobile phone or your tablet that has the Navionics boating app. There's the Vexilar sonar phone out there. That's pretty much going to be a chart plotter using your Navionics boating app, and it's going to give you sonar for your fish finder as well. It works great. I have one myself. I use it on my kayak. Top notch. It's pretty much the same thing that I have on my high dollar unit on my boat. And, I'm getting to see my sonar charts live there as well, constantly changing as I'm going over the structure. And it's crazy how things change, especially in a tidal area, the saltwater environment I'm in. When I'm running my sonar charts live, it can be just a year later and of something that I went over previously doing sonar chart live, and it's changed again. There might be a 1-foot difference or something like that, or a steeper drop off an oyster bank just because the tide has, washed away sediment and oysters and structure. So it's good to have those updates. Things do change all the time. You definitely want to be on top of those, whether it be as a pleasure boater or a serious fisherman. Timelines, another neat little feature just come out on the Navionics boating app. You can look back at your trips in the track timeline, where you can see photos that were taken while you were tracking, points of interest, and Navionics panoramic images. Right now, it is available just on the iPad and iPhone only. But it's great, to be able to track your timeline experiences and stuff using that. Again, technology is crazy. You can look back and see what you did last year rolling through there. So that's just another great tool for the app to keep track of your boating and your fishing. I'm just now starting to use this, so I'm sure this time next year it's really going to be key, me looking back at the timeline and that. Navionics Plus, the boating app. You can't talk bad about it or complain. I mean, you get a free 2-week trial. Test it out. If you like it, get it. If you don't, well, you ain't gonna worry about that. You're gonna love it. So definitely take advantage of that free 2-week trial. Use it, abuse it, get down and dirty with it. It's available on Android and the Apple Store, so you can get it on any of those devices. The Navionics Plus 1-year subscription. Once you purchase it after your free 2-week trial, it includes downloads of nautical charts, sonar charts, and community edits that will reside on your device even after it expires. But you will definitely have to at the end of 1 year, you can renew with discounts up to 50%. So they're constantly helping you out. They want us to use this app and for its intended use. So definitely take advantage of all the savings you got here. You also get 1 year of chart updates, dock-to-dock auto routing, navigation module, advanced map options, plotter sync, weather, tides, timeline, everything we talked about is going to be included on that app for a year once you after your trial ends and you purchase a subscription. So again, it's a one thing deal. Everything is on this app. Even things that you can't get on your plotter are on here. Some of those we went over, like the advanced map options. That's killer. That's why I keep my iPad with my Navionics app, boating app, on the boat with me, is because of those advanced map options right there. So definitely, if you don't have the Navionics boating app, check it out. Take your free 2-week trial. If you like it, get the subscription. I promise you, you're going to love it. I love it. Trust and rely on it for a living. So I do thank you for attending. I know I probably breezed through a lot of that information quickly. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted live on the Navionics.com website. So you'll be able to go back there and review it and watch it again. My name is Captain Stephen Fields again. CharlestonFishingCompany.com, that is my guide site, or FieldsFishing.com, that is my personal pro angler site. Definitely visit me and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Again, like I said, not only am I putting a lot of my views and the tactics and the way I go about fishing out there, but I'm also sharing a lot of other very talented anglers' information as well. That includes freshwater, saltwater, ice, warm, whatever. We're getting it out there. Also, again, like I said, to find out about more upcoming webinars, go to the Navionics.com and join the mailing list. Also, click on webinars. You'll be able to view the whole full schedule of upcoming webinars, and you'll be able to register for those. You can also view past webinars that have been recorded. Again, not only do I watch these things, but not only do I talk about these and conduct webinars myself, but I actually watch a ton of these. I'm constantly learning myself. My dad always said, whenever you stop learning in something, you probably need to quit. So I'm not quitting anytime soon, and I'm constantly learning and gaining new knowledge out there. All right, what you got? Questions and answers. So go ahead and y'all can go ahead and start asking some questions if you got them. I'll be more than happy to answer them to the best of my ability. All right, Jeff, can you transfer routes and waypoints from the boat to the app and vice versa? Yes, you can transfer routes and waypoints from the plotter to the app. But to be able to go from the plotter, from your app to the plotter, there are some programs out there you can look into that you can somehow do that. But right now, when you do the plotter sync, you're just getting the transfer of routes and waypoints from your boat to the app. You're welcome. Just taking a sip of water. I tend to get excited when I'm talking fishing. I talk real fast and stuff. I love this stuff. So. How many gigabytes a day when running all day? I'm not exactly sure on the exact number there, but no, it is not a data hog at all. I've never had a problem with the Navionics app taking up too much room or hogging too much data. If you can run the basic, if you have a mobile tablet or phone, you don't. It automatically has a GPS in it, so you can quit the cellular function on those items and still run this app. Do you need internet access to run the app, or can you run offshore and use only the GPS on your tablet? Again, I've never been to the Gulfstream with this thing, but as long as you got a GPS signal, you're good. But I fish near shore, inshore all the time, and yeah, I run the app pretty much just off the GPS, so I don't, take up too much of my data. And again, the app itself's not too big of a data hog, anyways. Never had a problem with that. That's the one thing on my tablet and phone that's not a data hog. Now that can change, like when you're downloading certain sonar charts for areas, bodies of water. The more you load of that, the more room it's going to take up, no doubt about that. But I try to keep mine to a minimum. You can always erase and go back and download again. It doesn't take but a few minutes. When I'm showing buddies the app or something like that, they tell me where they're from. I find that body of water, select it, and again, it just takes a couple minutes to do that. Do you need to purchase an app for the phone and an iPad? Yes, you will need two separate apps for those right now. But a lot of the and it is I missed the very beginning. Is this app available in the Windows Store for Windows 10 tablets? It's good for Android and Apple devices, and it's available the Android store and the Apple store. Where I work, tide info is really critical due to shallow water. Can the app show tides in specific location? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. If you look on your charts on the map, you're going to be able to zoom in and find different tide stations, just like you can on your plotter. All right, I'm not getting the difference between the chart plotter on my Ray Marine E-Series and this app, and why are screens different? I'm not 100% sure what you're asking there, Barry. If you want to ask it again or just send me an email, I can definitely go in depth with you there. All right, John, the broker I bought my new boat from in November used the app to navigate Florida to Massachusetts. He also used it to navigate when we ran the boat from Cape Cod to Rhode Island while I was learning to use the Ray Marine chart plotter for the boat. That's awesome. That's really cool right there. I don't think I've ever used it for that long of a distance, but that's great just to see the capability of that. That's cool. Appreciate that. All right, Barry. You have the app and hot maps. Shouldn't they both be the same? Sorry, why the app and also the E series? Are they the same? E series, that's Raymarine. That's an actual series of multifunction displays made by Raymarine. The boating app is made by Navionics, which makes the chart cards that go into the plotter units from Raymarine or Lowrance, B&G, Simrad. Now, hot maps and the Navionics Plus maps that are on the boating app, Navionics Plus is a little bit different than the hot maps Platinum that's out there as well. You still get the same navigational and sonar charts, but the hot maps Platinum, that's going to have your satellite overlay, full satellite overlay for water and land and all that, as well as 3D views, etc. The Navionics Plus maps are for that on the app, and as well as the Navionics Plus cards that are in the plotters. Now you also do have satellite overlay for that Navionics Plus app on your tablet or your iPhone or Android phone as well. That's going to give you overland satellite overlay. That's definitely key to especially us shallow water, saltwater dudes. Getting to see what the contour of the land looks like, definitely for shallow water specifications. All right. Does this app work with Garmin plotters? No, sir, not at this time. It does not, unfortunately. I have a middle range Garmin that hasn't been updated in 10 years. Updated. Again, unfortunately, it doesn't work with the Garmin units. How do I protect my iPad in the saltwater environment? I currently use, I do have it right here. I use a LifeProof case for my iPad. It holds up great. I haven't had any problems. I definitely test out the waterproofness. My wife's a teacher, and she'd kill me for saying that, and probably a lot of my other grammar on this thing, but it holds up real well. There's also a new case out there, the Catalyst case. I hear a lot of great things about it. You can also get a RAM mount to hold your iPad up there as well. That's really neat. I do have one of those on the new boat, so I enjoy that. Yes, you'll be able to import waypoints in the plotter sync. So I have a separate file with my waypoints rather than syncing devices. They're a way to import the waypoints like a CSV file or something. Again, there's some programs out there. I'm not 100% familiar with those that you can look into and to possibly transferring different files or waypoints to your device through a different program. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you about something I don't know. Also, let's see. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Paul, Bencal. Just send me an email to sfields@navionics.com. All right, guys, I guess if that's it, we can go ahead and end this. Again, my email is sfields@navionics.com. You should have also have that in the confirmation email for you registering. Feel free to send me any more questions or feedback you might have, and I'll get right back to you on those. But I definitely appreciate everyone attending. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy sharing my information, and I definitely appreciate any feedback and questions y'all might have, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible on those. Again, I appreciate it, and hope y'all have a good evening.